The hidden danger in your daily vitamins. What if I told you that the very vitamins you're taking to stay healthy might actually be making you sick? Sounds unbelievable, right? But according to the Journal of Medical Aging, seniors who take the wrong supplements face up to a 40% higher risk of early death. That's not fear-mongering, that's clinical data. Now here's where it gets truly alarming. One of these, everyday, vitamins has been linked to brain shrinkage. Another, something millions take without a second thought, can raise your risk of stroke, nerve damage, and even heart failure, all at normal doses. Think about that. You might be swallowing it right now, thinking it's protecting you. But here's the thing most people don't realize. Once you hit 65, your body changes, your liver slows down, your kidneys aren't flushing out excess like they used to, and your nervous system becomes more fragile. That means fat-soluble vitamins, the kind that build up in your system, can turn toxic before you feel anything's wrong. And the symptoms? They sneak in: dry skin, blurry vision, fatigue, brain fog, all things we brush off as just getting older. But what if it's not aging? What if it's avoidable? In this video, I'm going to break down the 4 vitamins you should never take after 65, and the 4 you absolutely should. Trust me, you'll want to stick around until the very end, because one of these can cut your risk of dying from any cause by 36%. That's huge. So before you take another pill this morning, ask yourself, do you really know what's in your supplement? Let's find out why vitamin A might be hurting you after 65. Let's talk about a vitamin that's often seen as a health hero, but could actually be a silent threat, especially after 65. I'm talking about vitamin A specifically in the form of retinol or retinol palmitate, the kind you'll find in many multivitamins and liver-based supplements. Now, on the surface, vitamin A sounds like a good thing. It supports your vision, immune system, even your skin health. But here's what most people don't realize. Vitamin A is fat-soluble. That means instead of getting flushed out like vitamin C, it gets stored, mostly in your liver and fat tissue. And as we age, the body's ability to break down and eliminate excess vitamin A slows down. What happens then? The levels accumulate, slowly, quietly, until they become toxic. Symptoms like dry skin, dizziness, blurred vision, and joint pain start creeping in. Sound familiar? That's because they're often misattributed to just aging. But here's the science. A 2022 review in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults with high vitamin A intake had a 25% increased risk of atrial fibrillation, a serious heart rhythm disorder that dramatically raises stroke risk after 65. So what's the safe move? Skip the synthetic versions. Your body doesn't need extra retinol from a pill. Instead, get your vitamin A through beta-carotene-rich foods like sweet potatoes, carrots, spinach, and eggs. Beta-carotene is a precursor to vitamin A. Your body only converts it when it needs it, meaning the risk of overdose is virtually zero. If your multivitamin still lists retinol or retinol palmitate and you're over 65, it's worth taking a second look. This one switch could protect your heart, your vision, and your long-term health. The hidden dangers of iron after 65. Now, here's a surprising one. Iron, the nutrient we've been taught to see as a cure-all for fatigue, brittle nails, or even anemia, can actually become toxic as we age. Here's why. After age 65, your body stops losing iron the way it used to. Women are no longer menstruating. And men, well, they never lost much to begin with. So what happens? That iron starts building up in places it shouldn't, like your liver, heart, and pancreas. And when iron accumulates, it fuels something called oxidative stress, where unstable molecules start damaging your cells from the inside out. This process has been linked to Alzheimer's, certain cancers, and heart disease. Not exactly what you signed up for when you bought that senior-friendly multivitamin. Right? Even more troubling, the signs of iron overload are easy to miss: joint pain, chronic fatigue, memory issues. Sounds a lot like aging, doesn't it? That's why so many people never suspect the real cause: excess iron slowly wearing down their organs. Here's the key: unless your doctor has diagnosed you with iron deficiency anemia, usually confirmed by a blood test, there's no reason to be taking iron supplements after 65. You're likely getting enough from your food already: meats, leafy greens, beans, even fortified cereals. So what should you do? First, check your supplement label. If it includes iron, reconsider. Ask your doctor for a serum ferritin test and transferrin saturation. These will tell you whether your body is storing too much iron. Because here's the truth: iron is essential when you're young. But after 65, it can become the spark that sets off a fire your aging organs can't put out. Choose iron-free multivitamins. And always personalize your nutrition. Not every label knows what's right for your body. The calcium mistake that could be harming your heart. For decades, we've been told that calcium is the secret to strong bones, especially as we age. It's in every senior supplement, every doctor's pamphlet, every TV ad with a smiling grandmother. But here's the truth no one talks about: calcium alone can be dangerous. Especially after 65. Why? Because your body doesn't absorb calcium the same way it used to. As we get older, bone absorption slows down, particularly in postmenopausal women and aging men. And when that calcium doesn't get into your bones, it doesn't just vanish. It travels to places it doesn't belong: your joints, your kidneys, and most alarmingly, your arteries. This can lead to something called arterial calcification, a hardening of the arteries that increases the risk of stroke, heart attack, and other cardiovascular issues. Imagine thinking you're strengthening your bones, when in fact, you're quietly stiffening your blood vessels. Worse yet, calcium supplements can cause bloating, constipation, and reduced absorption of other key minerals like iron and zinc. And if you're on acid blockers, which many seniors are, your stomach may not absorb the calcium well to begin with. So, what's the smarter move? Get your calcium from food. Think yogurt, sardines, yes, with the bones, leafy greens like kale and spinach, almonds, chia seeds. And if you do need a supplement, never take calcium alone. Pair it with vitamin D3 and K2, which help shuttle calcium into your bones and away from your arteries. Because here's the bottom line: strong bones aren't just about calcium. They're about balance, movement, and the right nutrients working together. And your heart? It deserves protection too. The surprising risk of too much vitamin B6. Vitamin B6, it sounds harmless, right? It's in energy boosters, brain fog formulas, and just about every multivitamin on the shelf. Many people take it to support their nerves or feel more mentally alert. But here's what most folks over 60 don't know: high doses of B6 can quietly damage your nervous system. And I'm not talking about absurdly high amounts. Even doses over 50 to 100 milligrams per day, taken consistently, have been shown to cause neurotoxicity, meaning your sensory nerves begin to break down. The result? Strange sensations like tingling in your hands and feet, burning, numbness, balance issues, or muscle weakness. Sadly, many seniors report these symptoms and get told it's just getting older, or worse. It's misdiagnosed as diabetic neuropathy. But the real problem might be sitting right there in your medicine cabinet. Here's the science. Vitamin B6 is water-soluble. So most people assume it's safe: your body should just flush out the excess. Right? That's partially true. But B6 behaves differently. It can accumulate in nerve tissue, especially when you're older and your metabolism slows down. And once that damage starts, recovery can take months, if it's reversible at all. So what's the safe path forward? Stick with the recommended daily amount: 1.5 milligrams for women, 1.7 milligrams for men. You'll get plenty from food: bananas, chickpeas, tuna, turkey, no mega dose required. And always check your supplement labels. If your multivitamin or nerve support product has more than 5 to 10 milligrams of B6 per serving, it's time to rethink. Because after 65, more isn't better. In fact, more might mean long-term damage you never saw coming. Why high-dose vitamin E may do more harm than good. Let's talk about vitamin E, a nutrient praised for its antioxidant powers, heart health claims, and even its supposed anti-aging benefits. It sounds like a win-win. But after 65, more vitamin E isn't always better. In fact, in high doses, it may actually put your health at risk. Here's what the research says. When taken in large amounts, typically over 400 IU per day, vitamin E can increase the risk of hemorrhagic stroke, a type of brain bleed that becomes more dangerous with age. It may also thin your blood too much, especially if you're already taking blood thinners like aspirin or warfarin. That's a serious concern, because many seniors are already managing heart conditions and may be on medication that affects clotting. Adding high-dose vitamin E on top of that? It's like pouring oil on a slippery floor. You may not notice the danger until it's too late. What's even more confusing is how many multivitamins still include high doses of vitamin E, despite multiple studies, including one from the American Medical Association, showing that megadoses do not lower heart disease risk and may in fact raise all-cause mortality. So, what should you do instead? Focus on getting vitamin E from whole foods like nuts, seeds, avocados, and spinach, where it comes in balance with other nutrients. And if you do supplement, keep it under 200 IU per day, unless your doctor says otherwise. Remember, antioxidants are helpful in balance. But when it comes to vitamin E, moderation is not just smart. It's life-saving. Why magnesium is a must-have after 65. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt constantly tired? Had trouble sleeping, dealt with muscle cramps, or just felt off, and chalked it up to getting older? What if I told you one missing mineral could be the root cause, and that mineral is magnesium? Magnesium is a quiet powerhouse in your body. It helps regulate over 300 enzyme systems, from your heart rhythm to blood sugar to nerve function, even your sleep cycle. But here's the issue: after 65, your body absorbs less magnesium. And to make matters worse, many common medications, like diuretics, acid blockers, and blood pressure pills, actually flush magnesium out even faster. That means by the time you're in your late 60s or 70s, you're likely running on empty, without realizing it. And the symptoms? They show up gradually. You might feel more anxious. You wake up at night. Your muscles cramp. Your balance feels off. Doctors might call it aging, but often, it's magnesium deficiency hiding in plain sight. So how do you fix it? Start with magnesium-rich foods, leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, black beans, avocados. But because our modern food supply is often depleted in minerals, supplements are usually necessary. The best forms for older adults? Look for magnesium glycinate, citrate, or malate. These are gentle on your gut and well absorbed. Aim for 250 to 400 milligrams per day. But always check with your doctor, especially if you're on medications. When you restore magnesium, you might just sleep deeper, think clearer, and feel like yourself again. It's not a miracle, it's science your body has been waiting for. The vitamin you're probably missing after 65 and why it matters more than you think. Let me tell you something most doctors won't explain in depth. Vitamin D3 isn't just for your bones. It's one of the most powerful regulators of your entire body, and after age 65, it quietly starts to disappear. Here's why. Your body produces vitamin D3 when your skin is exposed to sunlight. But after 65, your skin's ability to make it drops by over 50%. Combine that with spending more time indoors, wearing sunscreen, or living in northern states, and your levels can plunge without you even noticing. So, what happens when you're low on D3? Studies show that deficiency is linked to a 50% higher risk of respiratory infections and up to a 30% increase in all-cause mortality. That includes heart disease, diabetes, and even cancer, not to mention symptoms like fatigue, weakened bones, muscle loss, and even depression. In other words, this isn't a nice-to-have vitamin. It's essential for staying resilient as you age. What should you do? Start by getting the right kind, cholecalciferol, also known as vitamin D3, not D2. D3 is more bioavailable and mimics what your body naturally makes from sunlight. Most older adults need 1.000 to 2.000 IU per day. Sometimes more if you're already deficient. And here's a quick tip. Take it with a meal that contains fat. That's how your body absorbs it best. So if you're feeling tired, catching colds more often, or just want to support your bones and brain as you age, D3 might be the quiet fix your body has been missing all along. The silent deficiency that mimics aging, why you may need more B12. Let's talk about one of the most overlooked deficiencies in older adults, and one that's often mistaken for aging or dementia. I'm talking about vitamin B12. After age 60, something subtle but important starts happening in your body. Your stomach produces less acid. That acid is necessary to absorb B12 from food, like meat, eggs, or dairy. Without it, even if your diet is perfect, your body might still be running on empty. The result? You may start feeling tired all the time. Your legs feel weak. You lose balance more easily. Or you get that pins and needles sensation in your hands or feet. These symptoms are often dismissed as just getting older, but they could be early signs of a B12 deficiency. And here's the scary part, left unaddressed. Low B12 can mimic dementia, memory loss, confusion, even changes in mood or personality. I've seen people go through months of worry, thinking they're in cognitive decline, only to discover it was something as simple and treatable as low B12. So what's the solution? First, stop relying on food alone. Once you're over 60, B12 from food becomes harder to absorb. Instead, go for methylcobalamin or cyanobalamin supplements, both of which bypass the stomach and get absorbed directly. Most people do well with 500 to 1.000 mcg per day. Taken either as a sublingual tablet under the tongue or, in severe cases, through weekly injections prescribed by your doctor. The best part? Once your B12 levels are restored, your energy, focus, and mobility can bounce back faster than you think. Sometimes, it's not aging. Sometimes, it's just a vitamin you didn't know you were missing. The one nutrient that helps you live longer, think sharper, and age better. If there's one nutrient that almost everyone over 60 should be taking, but most aren't, it's omega-3 fatty acids. Specifically EPA and DHA. And we're not just talking about a minor health boost. A 2021 study published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that adults with higher omega-3 levels had a 36% lower risk of dying from all causes. Let that sink in, one nutrient linked to a longer life. It gets even better. Omega-3s have also been shown to reduce the risk of fatal strokes by over 45%. That's not just impressive, it's life-saving. So what do omega-3s actually do? They help reduce chronic inflammation, a root cause of everything from heart disease to arthritis. They protect your brain, improving memory, focus, and even mood, and they help keep your joints moving smoothly and your heart beating steadily. But here's the catch, your body can't make EPA or DHA on its own. You need to get them from food, like salmon, sardines, mackerel, or from a high-quality supplement. The ideal dose for most older adults is 1.000 to 2.000 milligrams per day. Especially in triglyceride form for better absorption. And make sure it's heavy metal free, you want the benefits, not the toxins. Worried about fish or follow a plant-based diet? No problem. Algae-based omega-3 supplements are a great option, they provide DHA directly, without the fish. So if you're serious about aging well, not just living longer, but living sharper and stronger, omega-3s are a no-brainer. It's not just about heart health. It's about protecting everything that makes you you. The energy molecule your heart craves after 65. CoQ10. Here's a question for you. Have you ever noticed that after 60, your energy doesn't bounce back like it used to? Even a good night's sleep doesn't feel as refreshing. And simple things like walking upstairs feel more draining. One of the key reasons could be a drop in something called CoQ10, short for coenzyme Q10. CoQ10 is a molecule your body makes naturally. It lives inside your cells, helping them produce energy, especially in high-demand organs like your heart, brain, and muscles. But after 40, your natural levels start to decline, and by the time you hit 65, that drop becomes much more noticeable. Now here's the kicker, if you're taking statin medications to lower cholesterol, which millions of older adults do, those drugs block your body's ability to make CoQ10 even further. That's why fatigue and muscle aches are such common statin side effects. Your cells are literally running low on fuel. So, what can CoQ10 do for you? Plenty. It's been shown to support heart health, improve exercise tolerance, protect brain function, and may even reduce migraines in some people. It also acts as a powerful antioxidant, fighting oxidative stress, one of the major drivers of aging and chronic disease. The ideal dose for older adults? Usually 100 to 200 milligrams per day, preferably in the ubiquinol form, which is easier to absorb. And always take it with a meal that contains fat, that's when absorption is highest. So if you're over 65, taking a statin, or just feeling like your battery never quite gets fully charged, CoQ10 might be the spark your body's been missing. It's not hype, it's cellular biology, and your heart will thank you for it. Final thoughts, it's not about taking more. It's about taking smarter. So let's bring it all together. Getting older doesn't mean your body needs more vitamins. It means your body needs the right ones, in the right form, at the right dose, for your stage of life. Because here's the truth, some vitamins that worked for you at 30 could now be quietly working against you at 65. High-dose B6, iron, synthetic retinol, and isolated calcium may be doing more harm than good, especially when taken without proper guidance. But the good news? You don't need to rely on guesswork. When you focus on nutrients your body truly needs, like magnesium, vitamin D3, vitamin B12, and omega-3s, and take them in absorbable, balanced forms, you give your cells the tools they need to repair, protect, and thrive. Here's what I recommend. Next time you pick up that multivitamin, read the label. Ask yourself, does this match what your body actually needs? Better yet, talk to your doctor. Ask for simple blood tests to check for deficiencies or overloads that could be affecting your energy, mood, or memory. Because in the end, longevity isn't just about living longer, it's about staying sharp, mobile, and alive on your own terms. And often, the difference between decline and vitality? It starts with a smarter choice in your supplement drawer. So now I'll ask you, what's in your medicine cabinet right now, and is it helping you live stronger? Or slowly weighing you down? Make the choice today that your future self will thank you for. If this video opened your eyes, even just a little, go ahead and tap the like button. It helps us reach more people who need clear, science-backed information about aging and wellness. Make sure to subscribe if you want more content that breaks down the truth about supplements, nutrition, and how to stay sharp and strong as you age. We keep it practical, research-based, and focused on what actually works. And now, I want to hear from you. Which part of today's video surprised you the most? Are you thinking differently about what's in your supplement routine? Leave a comment below. I read every one, and your story might help someone else make a smarter choice too. Take care of your body, your brain, and your future, starting with what's on your shelf today. See you in the next video.